Welcome to my Week 16 NFL Film Room Breakdown. And on this one, in preparation for the Indianapolis Colts at the Pittsburgh Steelers, I have decided to find out what is going on with the Pittsburgh Steelers offense, being that they have seemingly melted down over the course of the last few games. The Pittsburgh Steelers started off the year 11-0 and now have dropped 3 straight and are in danger of losing their final 5 as they go up against the Indianapolis Colts and then the Cleveland Browns. So I want to know, hey, what's going on with this offense? Why were they effective earlier in the season, and why aren't they effective now? Well, let's get to it. In order to understand what's going wrong with the Steelers late in the season, we got to see what was going right for the Steelers early in the season for them to go 11-0. And on this play, it's a prime play, week 2 against the Denver Broncos. As you can see, this is a 2nd and 10 play, and there's no one loading the box. As a matter of fact, you got healthy respect for some speed on the outside. The safeties are deep, right? On 2nd and 10. On a 2nd and 10, you would think, you know what, we might bring someone in the box. But no, the box legitimately is a 6-man box because you got outside leverage on Eric Ebron right here, which means, hey, this is great. Good play call. They're in a pass defense formation. You got Connor in the backfield. This is a great draw play set up. And it's not just that, but if you watch, they are aggressive on the block. They block this great. On the left side, you got your guard and your tackle who step back, continuing to pretend, hey, this is a pass. And then on the right side, if you watch, these two guys here do a absolute beautiful job of just handing off the guy and saying, hey, I got him. Go, 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 go. All right? When this ball is snapped, immediately, guard says, I got him. Center says, okay, I'll go to the second level, get a block. You have all this free room here for the runner to go. I'm amazed that Connor ducked his head because look at the blocking he has downfield. Watch the blocking he's got downfield. These guys are doing an amazing job. Bam, right here. Why does he go up the middle when you got a solid block here and you got a guy lining up for a block here? Connor should have went that way, but he's a north and south runner. I understand that. But they are aggressively blocking downfield, which means he's going to get more yardage afterwards. If they run and Big Ben sees, hey, pass defense, then they run the ball very, very well. But you have to have, a defense has to respect your deep ball in order for a play like this to occur. And right now, no one's respecting Big Ben in the deep ball or this passing game at all. Week 5 against the Philadelphia Eagles, another prime example of why the Steelers were having success early and not having much success late in the season. This Philadelphia Eagles got a great front four. They're going to try to get pressure on Ben Roethlisberger here and drop 7 into coverage, right? They're like, you know what? We got a good D-line. We think we could get to Ben Roethlisberger. And Ben, through the first few games of the season, has been getting rid of the ball really fast. So it's better to cover deep downfield and worry because the wide receivers, he's going to chew us up with the wide receivers. Watch this play. Look how much time and space he has to get rid of this football on this play. Look at this pocket. The receivers are already well downfield. They're all evened up. Tons of space. So much room. Again, as I'm saying, giving plenty of room and respect for the receivers on the Pittsburgh Steelers by the defense. Roethlisberger, the offensive line, giving all sorts of protection for him all day to throw if he wants. This is a beautiful little back shoulder out by the sideline throw right there to Claypool. Both these guys actually did a great job here on the completion here. They knew exactly where it needed to be. And with that much space there, they knew, hey, that ball's going there all day long. So, and now in today's, you're not seeing this. You're not seeing just 4 guys rushing the quarterback against Ben Roethlisberger and giving him all sorts of time. No, you're not seeing healthy respect for these receivers, right? You're not seeing that kind of space. They're manning up, man pressing against guys these days. Playing man coverage and sending extra guys on the line of scrimmage to make sure they get pressure. This offensive line is having problems right now. Unlike early in the season when he had all day to throw, as you can see, he's not able to do that now. When you have confidence in your receivers that they can go up and catch a football, you're going to throw the football with confidence yourself. I mean, on this play against the Browns in week 6, this is just gorgeous. All right. He sees single high safety, and he watches him stay on this side of the hash marks, which means plenty of room over here for Washington to work one-on-one against the coverage guy, even if he's playing man. Hey, Washington's fast. So he's going to throw the football knowing that the corner is going to have to keep his eyes on Washington because Washington could make a move in the middle of the route and he'd lose him because of how quick Washington is. So this is a beautiful throw by Roethlisberger. Roethlisberger throws a rope to the sideline. Look at that. A rope to the sideline right there where he needs to be. Gorgeous play. He throws it right over the head of the corner so the corner can't see it coming. Washington jumps up and catch it. That gives you all the confidence in the world of your receiver to catch this football. And the amount of velocity that he puts on this ball to get it to the outside is beautiful. Beautiful. And this builds confidence. This allows you to know, hey, I could throw this ball in a vicinity of a receiver and he's going to catch it. Look, he throws this ball. Washington ain't even turning around. It's halfway to him. By the time Washington turns around to look for it, it's already halfway to him. Look, right now, bam. Roethlisberger, look at the pocket. Oh, my gosh. And this is against guys like Myles Garrett, all right? Myles Garrett. That left tackle for the Steelers is doing a fantastic job in this game against Myles freaking Garrett. That is one of the best pockets you can't ask for a better pocket than that. You can't ask for a better pocket. And look, Washington's just now getting the outside edge on the coverage. And Roethlisberger is throwing the football right now. And watch the line, that rope line that he throws this, and then, wow, what a catch. What a catch. Right over the head of the corner, Washington jumps up, catches his football, turns his body. This is a back shoulder throw. If he'd have led that football a little bit more, there's a chance the corner, when Washington reaches out for it, the corner could have reached his arm out and knocked the ball out. But when it's high like that, you got a better chance. All right, because when the cornerback lifts his arm straight up in the air, that slows him down. That's going to slow him down. Either way, this is a beautiful catch by Washington. Great throw by Ben Roethlisberger. And great protection against one of the best defensive linemen in football right now. And you're not seeing this against much weaker teams. You're not seeing this kind of protection. All right. The Cincinnati Bengals was getting pressure on him left and right. The Washington football team, pressure on him left and right. He's not getting stuff like this. Why? Because they're sending more than 4. This is no longer just simple one-on-ones out here in the NFL against Ben Roethlisberger and the Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiving core. Honestly, Every one of these guys are covered. Every one of these guys are in zone coverage. But this guy, this is a cover 3, right? Because the cornerback legitimately has to drop all the way back in coverage. You got 4 guys playing quarters up front. But because it's cover 3, you know he's going to have it all by himself, because that center safety right here that was showing single high. So this is beautiful play recognition on what they're doing on defense. Legitimately beautiful, because if you look at it from the get-go, they're lined up looking like man coverage. You got the safety coming up looking like he's getting ready to play man. This is everybody's up here playing man. You got an freaking 7-man box, right? You look like this is regular man coverage, and it turns out to be cover 3. Cover 3. Roethlisberger recognized it immediately, especially since the safety in the cover 3 played a little too far over on the hash. He needs to be on this side of the hash, because he's sitting here. It's going to end up being one-on-one. And the beautiful thing about a zone coverage is generally your guys are looking back at the quarterback. But because this guy covering him is not back, he's not able to look at the quarterback anymore as he backpedals. He's man pressed up. And because he's man pressed up, he can't look back to the quarterback. He has to rely on this deep safety to recognize Roethlisberger is staring him down and goes over there, and he doesn't do that. And that's why when Roethlisberger threw it over the top of the cover 3, there was no one there to help him, and he was left on an island not knowing if the ball's going to him. Roethlisberger legitimately read, recognized, and executed a play against this defensive play perfectly. That's the perfect pass to throw. You don't throw it to any of these other 3 guys, because it'll probably get intercepted because everybody else is looking at him. This safety's responsibility was to watch Roethlisberger. Watch him. And he failed to lean that way as Roethlisberger stared down James Washington. And because he didn't lean that way, oops, Roethlisberger made him pay. You're still here? Awesome. Thanks for watching this stream. Please, if you have a moment of your time, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel so you're notified next time I go live. And if you got a few extra seconds, hit that description down there below the video and check out all the places that you can follow me, whether it be Sportscaster here on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and there's a couple places where you can help donate to my channel. That way I can continue to bring all this content to you. Thank you for your support. Now, let's get back to the video. Now let's jump to the Washington game, the game that started this massive slide. And we're going to watch Roethlisberger. The last clip we had was to James Washington for, 23, 24 yards. Here's a play, exactly the same thing, down the sideline. James Washington, 23, 24 yards downfield along the sideline, right? And watch the difference between the throws. Watch what happens, because it looks completely and utterly different. Completely different. First off, as you see, that ball was not thrown accurately. But the reasoning for this, it all starts up front, right? You need protection for Ben Roethlisberger. You need protection, because he is not going to throw accurate footballs when he's got a guy in his face. Watch right here in the middle of the D-line. Look at this. That defensive tackle gets around really quick, gets up in his face, hits him as he throws the football. Now watch the trajectory of the football. Remember on the last clip how it was a line out to the edge? Look at the rainbow Roethlisberger puts on this football way up in the air. This gives the corner all day to realize, hey, this ball is coming out here to the outside edge. And even with so, it's way out of bounds. This football is, look where they're at trying to catch the football, way out of bounds. Roethlisberger has to put this ball in a rainbow for the exact same distance that he had back in week 5 in this game against Washington. Deep rainbow plus pressure. Now, could he have thrown a rope? Absolutely. But look, he's preparing to throw the rainbow. Watch his body language, how he dips his shoulder down deep. That means he's planning on throwing this as a rainbow to Washington. See how he did that? It's quite obvious right there. How he dips his shoulder way down, brings his whole body kind of angled back. That means he's planning on throwing a monster rainbow way up in the air. This is going to give the cornerback all day to look back and see, hey, this ball's coming towards me. I can make a play. See, he looked back and sees it right here. Turns around, and he's like, oh, this trajectory is going out of bounds. I'll follow him. Follow. And when he reaches out, I'll swat the ball. Yes, he got pressured immediately from the middle of the line. But his trajectory that he was throwing the football before he was getting hit tells you that arm strength is not what it was back in week 5. All because of how he's throwing the exact same throw, like I said, only it was on the other side of the field, but the exact same throw with the exact same tight coverage. All right. Now, this is zone, right? But it's single high zone. My goodness. This is the right call to throw, but he should have thrown a rope on this rather than a rainbow, which tells me he does not have the faith to make this catch. He needs time to let Washington adjust to the ball in the air. Somewhere between week 5 and now, he's lost his confidence in his receivers. Not just that. I mean, when you got a guy breaking through the middle, that's not a good thing. You can't allow pressure up the gut. Not against a quarterback. No. Because a quarterback, a pressure up the gut, first off, these are 300-pound guys coming up the gut. Okay? And Roethlisberger is not exactly a mobile quarterback right now at his age. Not exactly. So he's not going to shake off a 300-pound defensive lineman coming right at him. No way. And the rainbow that he throws here is terrible. You cannot throw a ball and give a corner that much time. Now, I can see it if he let it. A rainbow like this is something where you lead the receiver open on a rainbow to wide open field. He could have thrown this ball deep using, if he'd have threw this football out here, if he could have thrown this football out here, Washington probably could have outran the corner because he's so fast, caught the ball, and maybe made a touchdown by using his speed to get away from the corner. But no, he throws a rainbow for 23 yards. For 23 yards. Goodness gracious. That tells you where Ben's arm strength is right now, and every defense in the NFL knows it. In the first clip, I was showing you, hey, you know, this Steelers offensive line was run blocking aggressively. You know, they were getting downfield, making downfield blocks. Now on this play, just 2 weeks ago against the Buffalo Bills, let's watch what happens here. James Conner run right up the gut. Watch oh my goodness. Oh, dear good. Oh my. That's not good. That's not good at all. Holy crap. There was more Buffalo Bills in the backfield than there was Pittsburgh Steelers. That can't happen. What happened to the aggressive blocking up front by this offensive line. I want to know. This is scary how easily this Buffalo Bills defense gets in the backfield against what is supposed to be a very good offensive line for the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers have no run game, and this is why they are not being aggressive. They are not out physicaling their teams. Watch how quickly. Look at this. As he gets the football, this is the line of scrimmage. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Buffalo Bills behind the line of scrimmage on this at the handoff. At the handoff. What in the world? You can't expect a run game to gain any yardage when you got 5 guys behind the line of scrimmage, and this is a free-for-all. Look at this net. Where is James Conner supposed to go here? All right? Where is James Conner supposed to go on this play? There's nowhere for him to go. This is terrible. The first guy to him, look at that. 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage. The line of scrimmage is here on the 30. 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage is where the first contact happens, right off the edge. And then that slows him down enough for the next guys to get to him. And he runs into a pile. And then the Buffalo Bills all come in. The Steelers need to get back to being the more physical team up front against opposing defensive lines. Straight up, they need to. Because if they don't, they're going to get beat like this on a daily basis. All right? And there's no way they can win games when their run game is getting hit behind the line of scrimmage 4 yards back. When they're literally got more guys behind the line of scrimmage at the point of contact than there are blockers. That's not a good sign. They have to be able to push forward, not fall backwards. And teams are realizing this. They're realizing this offensive line is nowhere near as aggressive as what they used to be. They're not getting people down. They're not able to block at the line of scrimmage, let alone get downfield and block in the second level. No way. No way. And if James Conner's not playing it and you got someone else up back there, like Benny Snell, I mean, I give Snell credit. He tries. But Conner's better at the north-south run than even Benny Snell is. And he can't do anything when you got this. This is a situation where you're praying. And it's not like he could have cut outside because the Bills are doing a good job of setting that edge. Watch this. Watch this guy here. He comes out here to the edge and he stops. Look at that. You got guys all the way on outsides making sure he's funneled right towards the middle where all that pressure is coming up the gut. He is funneled in the middle. He couldn't stop and break it to either way outside, or he would have been hit for even a bigger loss. He's done. This offensive line is playing very, very soft, and they need to change it if they have any shot of beating the Indianapolis Colts or the Cleveland Browns or doing anything in the playoffs. Now, with the combination of the fact that teams now realize they have zero respect for the Pittsburgh Steelers run game because the offensive line has looked a lot soft, very, very soft the last part of the season, and the fact that Ben Roethlisberger just doesn't seem to be able to throw the football with any kind of velocity downfield, so they have no respect for the deep ball. That leaves one thing: quick passes, right? Quick pass. That's the only thing that teams really have to worry about watching is the quick pass. And because of that, you see this team has zero respect for anyone going deep. Look how tight we got here. No more than 5 yards off anybody here. No more than 5 yards off anybody. And they're expecting the quick pass. And because you're expecting the quick pass, when it happens, you can immediately go right after it. Right after it. This is a screenplay. They're letting the edges come in. And that's fine. But you can't let your guy get nailed at the point that you're throwing the football. Come on, my guy. Look at this. That might be a late hit. I will say that. But look down here. Zero respect at all. He gets right by. He knows. He knows where this ball's going. He knows. He's 5 yards off and yet makes a tackle behind the line of scrimmage on this screenplay because he sees it coming. Sees it coming immediately. Gets past that block. Gets down there. My goodness. And the offensive line, it's a screenplay. They're letting guys go. That's fine. But if you're not afraid of the deep pass, and you're not afraid of them running the football very much, these short passes ain't going anywhere. Nowhere at all. When you're feeling pressure because your offensive line's not doing a good job blocking, you see ghosts. You see ghosts. You feel pressure immediately. Roethlisberger's throwing the football almost as fast as he can. It's 1st and 10. He doesn't have any pressure up the gut. There's a little pressure on the outside, but it gets well blocked on the outside. Let's watch the play. He gets rid of this football quick. All right. Snell comes out. He throws the football, but, I mean, Snell's not like just a couple yards in front of him. And this should be easy. Right out here in front of him for him to catch the football. He throws it high and behind him because he feels the pressure on the outside. Even though it's being handled and it's pushed away from him, he has no faith. No faith over here on this side. None by his right tackle or left tackle. No faith whatsoever. He feels he's going to get knocked. He doesn't step up. Not a lot to step up into, but, I mean, think about it. That pass is still terrible. He should have been able to get this football out in front. Now, even if he would have got it out in front where Snell could have caught the football, he was going to get tackled where he caught it. But he could have delivered this much, much better. And he doesn't. It's a terrible throw. And it's like right here. I mean, he's throwing it at the goal line, basically. He's basically running a play at the goal line. Roethlisberger throws the football. And look where it ends up. Too high. Should Snell have caught the football? Yeah, probably. But this is a terrible pass because that close, this close, he should not have had to have jumped up and reached out for that. There was a better chance of that being picked off by the corner that's covering the running back. He should have threw this football out a little bit further and hoped that Snell could have caught it, maybe broke a tackle off a cornerback. It was just a bad decision, bad throw. Because look how tight. There's no pocket here. No pocket here. 1, 2, 3, 4 guys against 5 blockers. No pocket. Now, his arm had plenty of time to throw the football. There's nothing in the way of him throwing that football. When he does, it doesn't get tipped. That ball's just really poorly placed. Roethlisberger knows his offensive line is not protecting him. He has to get rid of the football quick. And when you're rushed, you throw the ball really, really bad. So that's all teams have to do is just get pressure on Ben Roethlisberger. And even the shortest, easiest of passes are errant throws. So if Pittsburgh does not get something right with their offensive line, because it is the offensive line's fault. They can't run the football because the offensive line is not being aggressive and out physicaling the defense, which they were doing earlier in the season. And if you don't respect that, then you could play against the pass defensively. So they don't respect the run. Steelers can't run the football. They play against the pass. Roethlisberger can't throw a ball seemingly past 20 yards without throwing monster rainbow passes, which now means, hey, we could put guys on islands out there because the defensive backs have all day while the ball's in the air to make adjustments to it in the air. So we don't have to respect the deep ball. Now all we got to do is worry about these little short, quick passes, which means you could play up close man coverage or even up close zone coverage, tight windows, and you're almost guaranteed to be able to make a play on the football with your defensive backs, with even linebackers and safeties and stuff. Because these receivers out here, whether it's a running back, tight end, or wide receiver, they don't have time to get separation because Roethlisberger's throwing it too fast, and it's inaccurate. And that's a recipe for disaster. That's a recipe for tons of turnovers. So as you can see, in order for the Pittsburgh Steelers offense to get right, this offensive line has to get back to what it was before. This aggressive offensive line that just absolutely manhandles defensive lines. And if they can't handle defensive lines, how are they going to handle the Indianapolis Colts defensive line, which may be the best in the NFL right now, where they legitimately have the third best quarterback pressure percentage in the NFL, the Indianapolis Colts do. And yet they blitz the second least in the NFL. You got guys like Justin Houston, DeForest Buckner, Danico Autry, all have 7.5 sacks on this defensive line. All of them. Not to mention enough quarterback pressures and hits that you can't even shake a stick at them. And then the following week, they've got maybe the best defensive end playing right now in the NFL, Myles Garrett for the Cleveland Browns. To fix this offense, this offensive line, it's where it starts. It's absolutely where it starts. You have to be able to protect Roethlisberger. You have to be able to run the football. And if you can't do that, then Roethlisberger is not going to look good, even on short passes. Hopefully, for Steelers fans, we will see this offensive line get back into the groove that they're used to, what the Steelers fans are used to seeing over the course of the last few years, them having one of the best top 5 offensive lines in the NFL. But if they can't, I sure expect them to continue their slump on through into the playoffs and probably be a one and done. But if they can get it going again, then there is a chance for the Steelers team to really make noise in the playoffs, being how aggressive and turnover happy this defense for the Pittsburgh Steelers obviously still is, even with the loss of Bud Dupree. Thanks for watching this film room on the Steelers meltdown in the second half of the 2020 season. If you enjoyed this, please hit that like button, subscribe, maybe share it out. I would very much appreciate it. And until next time, I'm Lawrence Owen. As usual, I want you to have a good one.
Just because a player's not a household name doesn't mean we can't make him a household name.